the leaders. And Jaron, after praise and worship, I was asking God during praise and worship, and for weeks I've been just seeking God's heart after him and where he wants me to be during this time. And I was telling him, I need to hear from you because sometimes I don't feel like I could recognize your voice. And I need to hear from you because sometimes I think it's me, and I don't know if it's you or me. Anyway, Jaron came up to me after praise and worship, and he said that he saw God, that he saw me standing there, and he saw a snowplow, and the snowplow was just paving a new path. And in this new path, I was creating a whole new path that my family has never, ever been on. And I just started weeping because I've been praying to the Lord because I have an oldest daughter who the enemy has lied to her and has told her that I don't love her, so she's not speaking to me right now. But God's going to change that. That path is opening up, and he's going to change that, and we're going to have a relationship where we've never had before. And then he said, you have a brother or anything with the letter D? And I said, a brother with the letter D? I thought, no, not a brother. And so he's like, oh, well, you know, we're stepping out in faith, and maybe I was wrong on that. So I didn't think nothing of it. We went to class, and in class, as we were praying and talking about how we might, even something simple as a letter or a name could be more significant to the person that you're prophesying over. And I said, and then at that moment, the Lord just opened my eyes that it wasn't my brother with the D, it was my nephew, Danny, who had just overdosed on Monday. That Monday, he had just overdosed, and my niece had heard a thump. My sister was in the kitchen talking with her grandson, and they heard a thump fall. But my sister said, and she would have never checked back in the porch because she thought it was my niece, because they live in a 3-flat building. My sister owns it, and then my sister lives in the first floor, her daughter lives in the second floor, which is my niece, and my sister lives in the 3rd floor. So she said, oh, it's just Cassie, my niece, taking the dog out, maybe Robo dropped something. And Cassie was taking the dog out, but she didn't drop anything. But she heard that, and when she saw a crate fall. So she thought nothing of it. She thought it was just a crate. And so she was going to take the dog out. But then she stopped, and the Lord prompted her. Thank God that she listened to the Lord's prompting, because he said, check why that crate fell. And she turned around to go see why that crate fell. And when she looked up the stairs, she saw my nephew laying there with his eyes just rolling back, and his lips were blue. And she's a nurse, praise God. She ran downstairs to her house, and she started yelling. As she was running, she said, yelling, call 911, call 911. And my sister opens the door and starts screaming, and my niece runs downstairs, gets her Narcan, sprays it in his nose, still not responsive. She starts breathing in his mouth and pumping on his chest, and still not responsive, and my sister's on the phone with the ambulance. Praise God, he made it, he's alive and well. He's at home, and he needs our prayers, because he's a drug addict, and he went right back to the drugs, but she's believing that he's going to be praying. And then to top it off, we prayed, and Jaron prayed for him, because Pastor said, pray, you, Jaron, you've been through this, you pray for him, and Jaron did. And so I went home, and I called my sister, and I said, Millie, and then she answered the phone, and she says, hi, and then she's talking to me, and we FaceTime each other. And then so she said, and I said, Jaron we prayed for Danny, and he's going to be okay. And Jaron started praying. And she said, oh my gosh, when I told her the exact words that Jaron said, that you did it for me, and he's going to be a believer, and he's going to be preaching your word. And my sister said, she said, stopped me in my tracks as I was talking. She said, oh my God, Margie, oh my gosh. And I said, what, Millie, what? And she said, I was in my room, and I was just praising God, because I didn't know what more to do anymore for Danny. I didn't know. And then she goes, I was just in my room praising God and telling him to please help me to just put it in your hands and put it in your altar. And she said, and then I felt the Lord tell me to go lay my hands on him. And she's like, he's going to think I'm crazy. He's not going to fall. He's going to get mad. And then she just kept praising the Lord and just ignored it. And then she said she felt that prompt again. Go pray over him. So she did. She went in the room and she prayed for him. And then she started praying in tongues because she said, Lord, I don't know what to pray. So she started praying over him in tongues, and she's just praying and praying. And then she said, out of nowhere, she said the exact same words that Jaron spoke and prayed over her. It was coming out of her mouth as well. She said, tell Jaron that prayer was delivered because my tongue became God's tongue, and that prayer was put in Daddy's ear.